Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host, with my co-host, Lammy Chillmeister. Today is September 2nd, 2024. Ooh, that's a beautiful car. Old 50s car. Box car. If it comes closer, I'll try to pull it up on camera, record it for you. Got like white tail fins, too. Wonder if it's got white wall tires. Just feeling a little funky today. A little upset to my stomach. Just sleepy. As far as the update, this is some fun little small talk. I've been collecting these little Happy Meal toys. This one's, it's Yugioh and Hello Kitty. Basically Hello Kitty characters cosplaying as, Yu-Gi-Oh creatures. So this one's Pom Purin. He's Exodia, the forbidden one. I'm a big nerd when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Right now I'm really into Lorcana, which is kind of like a Magic the Gathering clone, but it's Disney. So I have like a Cruella de Vil deck because I like villains. But Exodia was like 5 pieces, like 5 cards that come together, automatic win. It's kind of cool. Lorcana's doing it too, but they're doing it more art cards. Like you can collect 5 or 6 cards and you put it together, it creates an art piece. Pretty cool shit. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a nerd. But as far as updates on the channel, I found one of the new subs, a Shelly Lee, or Shelly, Chele Lee. Welcome to the channel. Share it with your friends, if you got conspiracy friends and stuff. The only thing that I ask is just, we accept everyone here, any type of sexuality, any type of religion, any type of spiritual path, any type of race. The only thing I ask is just be respectful in the comments, and that's about it. Just be cool. So, I want to talk about some true crime today. First of all, I've always had a fascination with the Hells Angels. My favorite writer is Hunter S. Thompson. He wrote one of my favorite books. Like, my favorite books of his would be like Proud Highway, which is him struggling as a journalist, first starting out, living in cabins out in the woods, no electric, no water, just struggling, living off bologna sandwiches. And then there was Hell's Angels, like his first big story, his first book. He hung out with the Hell's Angels for like a year, ended up getting stomped by them. I actually did an episode on Hunter S. Thompson getting stomped by the Angels. So go check out that episode if you want to know the deeper story of it, in his own words, Yeah, I've just always been interested in the Hells Angels and like motorcycle gangs in general, because I'm a man, and at least speaking for me as a man, I like true crime and gang shit, and hearing about all that, to me it's exciting, and outlaws and stuff like that. It's just cool shit. So, Aurora, Colorado. First of all, why is it always Aurora, Colorado? What is it about Aurora, Colorado that there's so much weird shit? You had like the Joker, Batman shooting, the theater shooting, James Holmes. That was really strange. Denver Airport, which has all these like weird ass Illuminati commercials, these weird ass murals of like pandemics and China taking over America, like just weird shit, gargoyles all over the place, Blucifer. I did an episode on Blucifer and the airport itself. Go check out that episode. I don't know. I just think it's funny, man. Like, they must have like a huge like CIA presence in that town or something, because it's always weird shit in Aurora. So there's a Venezuelan gang of all these Venezuelan illegals who are coming over the open border, thanks to Joe Biden and the Harris campaign, which, by the way, I don't know if I've spoke on this yet. Kamala Harris is now cloning herself. Everything that Trump is doing or standing for during his presidential run, Kamala Harris is now doing. So, like, now she's for border control, when in the past she wasn't. And they've caught her in lies and shit. Like, she literally lied and said, like, I was not the border czar, when you can find evidence that she was the border czar. Yeah, just crazy shit. Like, she had never even been to the fucking border, and she's like, yeah, I've never been to the border. I've also never been to Europe, you know, like, okay, but you're the vice president and you're in control, and that's your responsibility of the border. Like, you would think you would at least go there. A presidency is 4 years, a term, so like, you would think within 4 years you could make it down there and check it out. Just crazy fucking shit, dude. And we all know that politicians say all this shit that they're gonna do, and then they don't do half of it, if not any of it. I mean, this is nothing new. We all know this. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. They all tell you what they're going to do, and then they don't do it, you know? Just saying. But anyways, Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua. Sorry. We're just going to call it TDA from here on out. First of all, it's a real fucking gay name, dude. Just saying. Like, if I had a gang, well, like we're talking about today, Hell's Angels, that just sounds fucking badass, dude. Like, we are Tren de Aragua. Ooh. That just sounds like some pussy-ass gay shit, man. Just saying. But, they have made it up here. They're all illegals, and basically the backstory of TDA is that Venezuela was purposely releasing all of these members of this gang from their prisons and sending them over the border, so that way we can deal with them. You know, so like the whole time during President Trump's term, we've heard about, we got fed all this propaganda on how he's a racist, saying that everyone coming over the border is like murderers and rapists, and, you know, but it's like, that's actually the truth, though. Venezuela is literally sending gang members who were imprisoned, clearing out their prisons and sending them over here. That's not even a conspiracy. That's literally a fact. Which we know the media itself is corrupt, evil propaganda. Smith Month Act, its propaganda has been legalized under the Obama administration, so now they can just legally feed us propaganda, lies, and get away with it. Plus, you have Operation Mockingbird. I'm preaching to the choir. You guys know. So they're sending them all up here. And they went to this apartment complex. Speaking of the media, that's what I was going to do. I was going to segue into this. So TDA basically took over an apartment complex and was kicking out the people who lived there and just taking it over as like a base, a headquarters. The media is already fucking putting a twist on this, and they're calling it like, they were like, well, the apartments, they were going to get condemned anyways. They were slums. And they are referring to the landlord as a slumlord. I kid you not. So they're already putting a twist on it, like, well, it was slums, so it doesn't matter anyways. They were going to get condemned. And I think they're having an issue with, like, squatters' rights, too. That now that they technically took over this apartment complex, does that involve squatters' rights? Do they legally own this apartment complex now? And have the law on their side? Like, just crazy shit. And they were all armed to the teeth, too, man. Like, machine guns and shit. I watched the footage. Like, I'm not, like, a super big gun guy, but it looked like they had, like, machine guns, you know? Like, rapid-fire automatics and shit. Fucking nuts. So, because... Look, and by the way, TDA, whoever is the top guy, I don't know his name. I'll have to dig deeper. Hey, if you know, hit me up in the comments. They've been given orders by the top dude of TDA to, if they want, to kill police officers. They've been basically given the green light to have war and kill police officers. So you got the police who are afraid to take their oath seriously to protect and serve. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything about SWAT going in. I haven't heard anything about National Guard. I haven't heard anything about anything like that. The police, I did see footage that they were going up to the apartment complexes and, like, investigating and shit. But Hell's Angels, first of all, the Hell's Angels are a totally different gang now than what they were in, like, the 60s and shit. Like I said, go read Hell's Angels by Hunter S. Thompson. Like, the first half of the book is literally, he goes into detail of, like, the origin of biker gangs, the origin of the Hells Angels. It's kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. But the first half of the book basically just tells all the info you need to know. An entire history of the Hells Angels. Now, this is the old Hells Angels. It's the same gang, but it's different. Does that make sense? Like, it's a totally different gang than what it used to be. And the Hells Angels back in the day were literally, like, a problem. Like, it was like an army on wheels, dude. And they were doing crazy shit, like raping people, fucking people up. Like, they would take over towns and shit. Read the book, it's amazing. But they've actually kind of chilled out over the years. They actually have more members now than they did in the 60s and 70s, but they're more chill. As weird as that sounds. But they're still a biker gang. Like, they will still fuck people up if they have to. They've changed, man, a lot. Because, like, one of the videos I was watching was, like, I can't remember which town it was, but they were doing this thing called Biker Build Off for Christmas. And they literally bought, like, 100 bicycles for kids. And all the Hells Angels were in this big-ass, like, garage. And just basically, like, all chipping in and putting these bikes together for little kids for Christmas and shit. So they are doing, like, community service type shit, which is cool as fuck. And I have no beef with the Hells Angels. I had an uncle who was a Hells Angel. I did a whole episode called Biker Stories. I don't know if I ever covered this story. I'm not going to recover it just in case I already covered it. I try not to repeat the same stories and shit. So go check out that episode called Biker Stories. And it's basically all my biker stories of, I'm not a biker. At one point in time, I was building a motorized bicycle. That's about as close as I got to being a biker. And it was pretty dope too. But I had an uncle who was an actual Hell's Angel. He got killed out in Crab Orchard by a cop. And the cop apparently was going like 100-something miles an hour. He ran down my uncle. And it would be a great uncle to me because it was my mom's uncle. And he got smeared so bad on the road that his dentures flew out of his mouth and literally went, I think it was like 100 feet or 50 feet or something crazy like that. That's how fast this cop was going. The story is that the cop was supposedly late for work, so that's why he was flying. Now there is conspiracy that in Crab Orchard, it's a super small town in Kentucky. So word gets around, everybody knows everybody. Everybody liked my uncle. They said he was cool as fuck, you know, and apparently he didn't have a car or a motorcycle. Once an angel, always an angel. So he was still a Hell's Angel. So he walked everywhere. He would walk to town. And the conspiracy is that the local police found out that he was a Hell's Angel and was kind of doing a whole good old boy thing of like, well, we don't want no Hell's Angel in our little Crab Orchard town. So they purposely fucking murdered him, is what the family thinks. Sad shit, but he was a crazy dude. Like my mom, she was like 16 at the time, and she went to a party. And they were all drinking, smoking weed, doing drugs, you know. Because my mom was kind of wild back in the day. Which I'm not judging. I was wild as fuck. I told you guys, you know, I used to be wild. I'm still a little wild. But, she was partying and her friends came up to her and was like, oh my God, dude, there's a crazy Hell's Angel here. And he's got a tattoo of a black widow on his testicles, and he's showing all the girls. And my mom knew about the tattoo, and she's like, oh my God, like my uncle's here. So she went back there, and sure enough, he had his pants off, just showing teenage girls his testicles with a black widow tattoo. He was just a real fucking wild dude. Another story too, I guess I'm getting into the stories. Sorry, if this is a repeat, I'm sorry. Just skip ahead, we'll get back to the main story. But another story too, like his son, because I was at the funeral, I went to his funeral, and I was just kind of listening to all these crazy stories about him while I was there. It was my mom's cousin Lisa, his dad. And there was a story too that and I'm pretty sure this was Detroit, Michigan. I could have the town wrong, but it was a real sketchy fucking town. Big ass city. And he went and got his son and was like, come with me, boy. And you're staying the night with me. So his son was like, oh, cool. You know, I get to hang out with dad for a night. And then so they're just walking around on the streets, you know, like just hanging out with his, you know, doing Hell's Angel shit. And his son was like, well, where are we staying tonight? Where's your apartment? And he's just like, ha, apartment. No, I picked you up because I want to teach you a lesson. And he's like, well, what did I do? And he's like, no, you're not in trouble. I just want to show you what it's like to be homeless. So his bright fucking Hell's Angel brain was like, okay, I'm going to go get my son and we're going to sleep on the streets in a ghetto tonight. And his son was like, what the fuck? Like, and he's like, yeah, we're going to find an alley and sleep in an alley tonight. he was batshit, man, because he wanted to teach him what it would feel like to be homeless. Just crazy fucking shit, dude. But I'm pretty sure, like, I think it was my Aunt Mona. I'm pretty sure Lisa was Mona's daughter, and it was my Aunt Mona's husband. And another crazy fucking story was, apparently he was like an alcoholic and would like beat her up and shit. And they had separated, and my mom was staying the night with my Aunt Mona, and she had like one eye and stuff. And I can't remember how she got her eye messed up. It might have been him, I don't know. But he said, hey, I'm coming over there with some Hells Angels with me. So like him and like 3 or 4 other bikers went over there, and he said that they were gonna like kill my Aunt Mona. And so my Aunt Mona like hung up the phone and was freaking out and telling my mom and my cousin Lisa, like, hide under the bed, you know. So they went and hid under the bed, and he got in the house, and my Aunt Mona, and this was back when you had phones with cords, and they were made of like metal, like steel. She took the phone and apparently like hit him over the head and knocked him out, and they got away. And crazy shit, man. But that's my Hell's Angel uncle, and so that's another reason I'm kind of interested specifically in the Hell's Angels, because I got like family that was Hell's Angel. But so the modern Hell's Angels now heard about this story of what's going on in Aurora, California, and this is all allegedly. It's all like TikTok videos. I watched the TikTok video. It was basically a Hell's Angel saying, so we know what's going on in Aurora. And dude, I got cold chills listening to it, because like, you don't fuck with the angels, dude. Like, the angels will fuck you up, dude. And he was talking strictly to TDA and was like, now is your chance, because we're rallying the troops. And like, back in the 60s, the Hells Angels, they would have only like 500 members. Now it's like in the thousands. I think last time I checked, like early 2000s, I think they had like 10,000 members. So, and they wouldn't even rally all of them up, you know, for one mission like that, but they could if they wanted to. Whoever's in charge, I think it's the same dude who is in charge from back in the 60s. He has like a stoma now. So when he talks like this. Sonny Barger, I believe is his name. I think it's still run by Sonny Barger, the same fucking dude who ran it when Hunter S. Thompson was a honorary member. But yeah, dude. He basically made a TikTok saying like, hey, we know what's going on in Aurora, and we know that the cops aren't doing shit, National Guard's not doing shit, so we're gonna handle business, and we're gonna come down there. And basically he told them like, now is your chance to get the fuck out of that apartment complex and go back to Venezuela, because when we get down there, we will have guns, we will have knives, and what we do to you will be unspeakable. Like, we will torture, we will murder, we will fuck you up, dude. So word is angels are heading over there. And last I checked, unless this is someone just saying this is the angels, last I checked, there's footage of like hundreds of motorcycles heading to Aurora. And word is, from what I'm hearing, because I've been keeping up with this story from multiple sources, word is that there's other gangs who are cool with the angels. Because that's how gangs work. You have enemies, adversaries, but you also have gangs that are cool with other gangs. Word is they're picking up other gangs too. Like, there's 2 or 3 other gangs that are like Yeah, we'll join forces with you. Let's go to Aurora. Let's crack some fucking skulls, dude. So you got an army of Hell's Angels with other biker gangs heading to Aurora right now, allegedly. Um, I get cold chills thinking about it, dude, because I love this badass shit, dude. And a lot of these angels, man, a lot of them are like veterans and shit. Once again, go read Hell's Angels from Hunter S. Thompson. Biker gangs in general in America started from a lot of World War II veterans. When World War II was over, they were like messed up in the head, for one, with mental illness, substance abuse problems. A lot of them didn't know what to do when the war was over, and they still had that military mindset of wanting to go to war. So a lot of them started and joined biker gangs to have like a purpose, you know. And from what I hear of people who've been around the modern angels, I know I keep talking like it's a different gang, but it kind of is, man. Every person who studies the Hells Angels will tell you it's the same gang, but it's not. A lot of people say who have been around modern Hells Angels that a lot of these dudes are patriotic as fuck. They just don't like the laws and they just don't like the government. Which honestly, I'm not trying to sound like a badass, you know, but like that's always been my mindset. Like I'm a very patriotic person as far as like this nation. I love being an American. I love America. We are the greatest nation on the face of this earth. But I despise my government. I despise my local law enforcement. I despise my local laws. I despise laws in general. I've always kind of had an outlaw mentality. You know, I'm a punk. And I used to be an anarchist, you know. Yeah, if it were up to me, it would be like the Wild West. I would love to go back to that time or be a time traveler and go back to that time. I would have loved it. Everyone totes a gun. When everyone's toting a gun, everyone keeps everyone else in check. Everyone's on the same level, dude. You don't go around fucking someone's wife because everyone's got a gun. I had a buddy one time, I was telling him, you know, I would love to go back to the Wild West era, and I wish that America stayed like that. And he's like, well, what do we do about bandits and gangs and shit? And I said, well, that's when the whole town gets together and they just fucking fight them, dude. He's like, that sounds scary. That's what type of America you want? And I'm like, kinda. Not gonna lie. Yeah, kinda, you know. So we're seeing it now, man. We're going back to that old style America of like, people have had enough with our current administration. People are done with Blue Lives Matter shit. People are done with local law enforcement. People are done with just the way and state America is now. So I promise you, this is a prediction. This is not going to be the end of it. Like, you are going to see more shit like this of like people are done. People are just fucking done. And you're going to see more shit like this of just little gangs, little groups, motorcycle clubs, mafia. I would not be surprised if you start seeing the mafia do shit and handle business, because the law enforcement is not. Military is not. And it's kind of sad that you would have to get to the point in America that National Guard has to step in and do shit, but I don't know, man. You guys know my thoughts. I believe we're on the brink of civil war in general, you know, but you're going to see more shit like this. Proud Boys, militias. You're going to see people are going to start forming little groups, man, and start handling business themselves because our government is not handling business. But yeah, I didn't plan on doing a whole episode just on this one subject, but I love talking about Hell's Angels, dude. I love talking about true crime. I love talking about gang shit, you know. as a dude, I am a stereotypical dude, and I love that type of conversation. So let me know what you guys think. You all have a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe. And Lammy, say goodbye. I kept forgetting the last several podcasts for Lammy to say goodbye to you all. By the way, Lammy says that she loves you. But y'all have a good day. Catch you later.